Good morning, fellow
Listeners,
listeners.
followers.
Today is what's the date today? March 28th. Yes, March 28th. Go into the week. So the beginning of the week, our daughter had a volleyball game.
Mm-hmm.
They're 4-0. They played another 4-0 team. They won, so they're 5-0.
So tell us a little bit about the other team.
The other
Was
team
it an
was
intense game?
well, they were like recent, last season teammates to kind of um it was a hard fought game, really close,
Mm-hmm.
really long matches, but at the end we came out on top. Village Spikers, to all the parents, thank you for supporting your kids. So what did you think about their game, babe?
Oh, okay. That was Tuesday. Um, I was telling our cousins that I wasn't as nervous. I was actually a little nervous for them. And I know that you were very nervous too as a coach.
Yeah. I'm like a assistant coach, but yeah, I was very nervous for them. It just kind of reminds me of like when I used to play,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Do you think you're more nervous this game or like the very first game?
Um, I think both because the first game, like we didn't know where their skill level was yet. So it's kind of like, we practiced so much in practice for the first 3 weeks. And then to go play a game where we don't have any comparison of their skill to, like
Mhm.
other kids. So it's kind of like, yeah, the first game was really nervous because of that. And then once, like you saw how the other teams, where their skill level was at, now it's kind of like, it's not that bad. But then
Mhm.
the last game, it was kind of like, we're 4-0, they're 4-0. They're 4-0 for a reason too.
Mhm.
So it's kind of like, it's going to be a good match to where it's going to be a close match, a long rally.
Yeah, and I think in our last episode we did talk about this upcoming game, which is the game we're talking about. And some of the players are actually they know each other. So this is familiar faces, some familiar faces. And actually at the end of the game, one of the gals on the other team actually cried,
Yeah.
which is I mean, it just shows that like they're very dedicated or they're just passionate about the sport.
Hmm.
And that's a good thing. Um Yeah, if you want to look at it in a bigger picture, I would say that our daughter is probably the weaker player of the team,
Yeah.
but this is actually her first time being exposed to volleyball.
She hasn't been there for a full season yet.
No, it's not even it hasn't even been a full year, if anything. So for her to go out there and play with kids that's probably what, 2+ years.
At least a year in, a
Mhm.
year or more in.
Yeah.
She's still struggling, but she's getting there.
Hmm. I know she wants me to coach, but I can't technically coach. But I have been,
You understand the feeling.
yeah, and outside of volleyball too, just been trying to bump with her
Hmm.
here and there.
Yeah, and then what? We came back from TI this morning,
Mm-hmm.
took the kids swimming.
Treasure Island Casino in Minnesota. I was actually, I don't know, I think it's my first time there.
I mean, on paper, it wasn't your first time there, but
And just playing the slots too, or just being there.
yeah,
But we did bring the kids. It's towards the end of their spring break. So we decided to go there as a family with cousins too.
took them swimming. They wanted to ride the lazy river, but there was a series of unfortunate events. I mean, I won't go into detail about that, but and then we went to go play volleyball towards the end, water volleyball
Oh,
too.
you guys did? I
Yeah.
was hoping you guys would.
Yep. And then, yeah, came back up. It was one of our nephew's birthday. Celebrate that with him.
Yeah, we all ate.
Ate.
We did potluck style. That was really fun.
Yeah.
A little tight space, but we made it work. It is what it is.
And then we went gambling.
See
The
that?
adults went gambling, not the kids, but the adults went gambling.
Mm-hmm.
Um, we Didn't come up a lot, but we actually did come up a little bit, so that was good. So it's better than, coming back empty-handed.
Yeah.
And yeah, everybody seemed to do decent, I
Mhm.
think.
Well, some people
Yeah.
probably just broke even
Broke even
or
or won a little bit, not too,
yeah, or lost a little bit.
yeah. So, question of the day.
Keep your
What do you admire about your parents' relationship?
Am I answering or are you again?
You answering.
Um, my parents are still together. What I admired most is that even through all the hardship, they're still together. And I think that's like that generation too. You know, I don't know. Either you make it or you don't. And after everything that they've been through, they're still together
Hmm.
and they make it work. They adapt if they need to. Yeah, I admired that about them a lot. What about you, babe?
I was gonna say the same thing. Yeah, my parents, growing up, they always got into petty arguments with each other. It's kind of like toxic, you could say. I don't know. Can't really remember that far. Like I remember all our stupid little arguments, but it's kind of like it's probably more like the toxic arguments. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, it is what it is. They made it through. They're still together, still hanging on. They still get into those stupid petty arguments still. Even
Right.
after all these years, after what, 30 plus years of them being married? Yeah, even after all the toxic and petty arguments, they're still
Mhm.
together. So, yeah, that's what I admire about my parents too. They made it work some way, somehow, through the
Mhm.
ups and downs.
Would you say your parents are proud of you and your marriage today?
Um, I would say so. They might not be able to say it to me, but I'm pretty sure they are. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, I was the first kid, probably the worst kid that put them through. Their worst kid that put them through probably the most too, as the
Mhm.
oldest. But I like to think I turned around
Mhm.
from back then. I hope so.
I hope so too.
Lila hai just supported it, may go both ways, but the next questions. How does your family handle arguments?
How do my parents handle arguments?
Your
My
family.
family. Oh, arguments. Mm, I don't think we handle it well. If it's a full-on screaming argument, then it's gonna be a full-on screaming argument.
Nothing gets resolved.
No,
Everything
most of
gets
the time it doesn't.
just
And
gets
that's
pushed aside.
yes. And that's basically how we were brought up anyways. My parents are probably one of the worst communicators um
With each other or with all you guys too as
with
well.
everybody in general, but outside to the public or the community, like they they will communicate. So yes, I grew up with my parents always arguing, sometimes even like get physical.
Hmm.
So I would say that really affect the way how we all communicate with each other. I think it's only been like recently that we started, like my siblings and I, my family and I, we just started arguing, um, like full on screaming communication,
As adults now.
Mhm.
Mm.
But it was never like that. Like
But
we always try to be very mutual with each other. I don't think it was like, those family that are like the sisters are like really close to the nyas or
mhm.
the brother-in-laws are like really close to the family. It was never like that. I mean, when I see it, I'm like, wow, that's great. You guys have really good um connection and you guys are still very close. Like siblings that are very close to each other who hang out together, they call each other, hang out, go out, whatever. Like we were never like that, but we were, you know, great to a point where we can still communicate with each other. I mean,
Mhm.
I don't think it was the healthiest. I don't think it was the best way to go about life, but everyone views it differently. So I respect that. If they don't want to communicate with me, they don't have to communicate with me.
Mhm.
But I would say slowly we did drift apart a little bit.
Yeah.
Everyone doing their own thing. But then at the end of the day, we still come back together, for special occasions. If someone mentions it, you know,
Family. Somebody
then
has to plan it too with those family events.
yeah. But I would say like recently it's gotten to a point where we argue a little bit more now, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
Um, I think there's just a lot of hands in the pot. It's you could say a lot of opinions and very stubborn, strong-minded folks, which is fine as long as people know what they want and what they like. It's just a matter of adapting or compromising
Mhm.
that is really hard for all of us, I guess. Um, yeah, but I hope that we could be closer in the long run.
Mhm.
What is the question?
How does your
Your
family
family. Okay.
handle
Does that
arguments?
include my little family?
Well, we could get
Okay.
to that then.
How about you, babe?
Um, yeah, it's just my parents always had screaming matches, or not really my. Well, yeah, both of them had screaming matches, with each other. But then there's kind of like when they bring in like the outside, then it calms down a little bit.
Mhm.
At least from what I've seen, I don't know about like the other ones that I wasn't there for, but when it's just both of my parents, has always been a screaming match with each other too, and just saying things just to hurt each other's feelings,
Mm,
like saying probably the most,
obnoxious.
yeah, and untruthful thing just to get under each other's skin, you know.
For a reaction.
Hmm.
For a reaction. So
And being the oldest, that was always the hardest to see. Growing up, I was a mama's boy too, so
you
every
are.
every time my parents got in an argument, I always took my mom's side.
You sided with your mom.
Hmm. And whether she was right or wrong, I always sided with her because I guess being a kid, you don't really know, kind of understand right from wrong yet. You're just, hearing it from both parents. And my dad wasn't really like vocal, or there wasn't really explaining to us when they got in an argument, but my mom probably explained a lot more, like,
Or you heard more of her side
yeah,
because she
so
spoke up more.
mhm.
Mhm.
So that's probably why I took her side a lot more, as a kid. But growing up now, I'm when they still argue. So growing up now, whenever they get into like little bickeries and you know petty arguments, I just tell them both to shut up, and just state the facts. Like, why are you guys arguing all the time? Like, it's so unhealthy for you guys. It stresses you guys out. Like, you guys are both old. It's not good for your health.
What's not good for the family?
Yeah. Well, they don't really argue in front of the family no more because we're not, home at home with them no more. But it's just kind of like they're older. You don't know if all of a sudden one little stupid petty argument might lead to, something worse. So I don't know. Being the oldest, I've always had to be the mediator with them too. So, you
Mhm.
know. And then when growing up with my siblings, we argued a lot too. I was the only boy with three sisters
For a while.
for a while, yes, probably 12 years. And being the oldest, I've always won. Just kidding.
But you're the favorite,
No.
so
Well, just between like me and my siblings. Just kidding. We had our differences. Um, we there's times where we've, really I, w- I wouldn't say hate, but really like lost respect for one another at a point.
mm,
But like at the end, we realize we're family. Learn to let go and, love each other again. And, like now when we see each other, it's more like we still might have that like Halloween childhood towards each other and like raise our voice and talk, a little harsh to each other sometimes, but we understand we love each other. We always, you
Mhm.
know, appreciate each other for being around each other.
Yeah. Well, I would say that you guys are a lot stronger
Yeah,
together now
yeah.
because you probably realize you need each other more.
Yeah, I mean, we do try to do a lot for and help each other out. So it's kind of like all that fighting and arguing back then did help us understand and love each other more now too. So
Would you say your younger brothers argue with your sisters, or did you argue with your younger brothers? Or were you
um
the only boy that argued with the girls? Because they're younger, your brothers.
yeah, both my brothers are the babies. It goes me, my sister, my sister, and then both my younger brothers. I mean, with my younger brothers, they didn't really argue back because we have so much of an age gap.
Mm,
And, like me and my brother talked about it there too, where like I always told him I didn't want him to want to be like me because I was the one that got in trouble. I was the one that, you know, smoked and drank and, I didn't want him to like think that I was, so I always pushed him away. So like me and him talked about it already too.
have
And
you guys ever argued?
no,
Mm,
I mean, I've yelled at him, but he's never
okay.
yelled back at me,
Okay.
you know.
Do you think both of your younger brothers have argued with each other?
Uh,
What do you
no, I think it's more of
you would know.
David yelling at Dean
Mm,
and Dean just being submissive to his older brother, kind of like just how David, was to me. I mean,
hmm.
it's kind of like that older sibling respecting, so they never like yelled back. But I mean, you know, I'm not saying David can't yell at me or shouldn't yell at me. Like, I think it's just more of that. That's my older brother. I respect him, so I'm not gonna yell at him.
Yeah.
But it's not like we've had issue, yet where he for my where he well, our opinions don't match up with each other.
Yeah.
So
Well, I think you guys always talk to a point where you understand or you compromise, where there is no need to argue.
mhm.
You would just say that? Like you guys always get to a point where everyone understands each other and there is really no argument with you
Yeah.
and him.
Well, when I was younger, we argued like what I said. We argued a lot with my siblings. But no, as we gotten older, it's more like arguing is not gonna get us anywhere, or
Mhm.
yelling and screaming is not gonna get us anywhere. We're not gonna understand or listen to each other if we start yelling and screaming at each other. So
Mhm.
it's more like just be adults, talk it out. You could be emotional. You can raise your voice, explaining your temper, but like just to be you yelling at me and then me yelling back is not gonna get us anywhere.
Mhm. Or a screaming match.
Yeah.
I mean, we've argued.
I'm not saying we haven't.
Oh, I know. I was trying to transition
Oh,
to uh
yeah, we've argued. I mean, when we argue, I don't like arguing. That's why I don't
mhm.
say much. Cause I mean, like, just arguing with my sisters when I was younger. When we argue, you would say things just to hurt each other's feelings. And after realizing that, like, whenever we're in a, argument, I don't like to say anything because I don't want to just say something to hurt your feelings, just to make me feel better. Because just because I feel better, it's just gonna be for that split moment for me seeing you pissed off, just to make me feel like, why do I gotta have joy in saying something that just to piss you off,
Have
just so I
you
could feel better for that little moment.
Yeah.
It's
But if a guy was to do that to you, you will argue back, right? So there's a difference.
um,
Because knowing you and your ego.
it depends. With the guy, it's different.
Uh-huh. I know that.
It comes with
Ego.
ego, but it's more of like how they say it. Like if they say it to like disrespecting you, like really trying to disrespect you, then
Isn't that like how your spouse argue with you or your siblings? They say it to like really disrespect you and get under your skin. But it's different because they're a female, right? But if it's a guy, then yeah, you will react. So
yeah,
got you all figured out, babe.
yeah. But then at the same time, like there's it depends on how well you know them too, though. You know, I don't know. I guess
You don't know.
it is different when it comes to
It's different when it's a guy compared to a girl. A guy can argue with you and you'll argue back. But if it's a girl, any girl, you probably wouldn't argue back. Plain and simple.
yeah. I mean,
Mm. I can't say the same thing about myself.
hmm
A lot of times I'm very submissive, especially if it's someone outside of my family. They want to argue with me, they can argue with me. Like a lot of times I won't say anything,
hmm
but then I have a hard time standing up for myself anyways. But if it's like my family, then yeah, I will say something
hmm
if I have to. If I don't have to, then I'm not gonna bother. Yeah, but we do argue.
we have argued. I mean,
When was the last time we argued?
probably a week ago,
I was gonna say it was only like last like a week ago.
but it wasn't really arguing.
But I would have to say that the arguments have gotten a lot better, as in communication wise. Not actually, not really. You're not great at
Yeah.
communication.
Okay. I'm working on I'll work on it.
W- uh,
I always try to work on it.
Is your communication good or no? I want to hear from your point of view.
I think it's gotten better. I mean, it's not like the greatest. I'm not gonna say I'm the greatest communicator with you.
With me, there you go. Everybody else is fine, but with me, the person that he's supposedly doing life with, no, it's not great at all. And I'm the total opposite. Like everybody else, I'm not that great at communicating, or I don't care, or I don't. It's like if I want to respond, I'll respond. But with you, it's like, yeah, I'll respond to you and I'll tell you. But I don't know. I guess you could say we're totally opposites. You don't think we're the total opposite?
We are sometimes we yes, the total opposite. A lot of the time.
Someone's always got to give in.
Yeah.
We'll go into Hmong Talk now. This one is actually an old one, 3 years ago.
hmm
And they wrote, just curious if your partner, your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend gets sentenced to 10 plus years in jail or prison. Are you willing to wait for them or move on? What's the maximum years you're willing to wait?
Do you want me to answer first?
Sure.
Your what was it? Your significant other spouse?
Your spouse
Girl.
goes, yeah, they're saying your spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend, like whatever, your spouse goes to jail or prison for 10 plus years. Are you willing to wait for them or move on? What's the maximum years you're willing to wait?
Well, the thing is, what are they in prison for? Right? Like, is it like domestic where they're just beating you? Like, I'm not saying a girl's gonna be beating my ass, but I'm saying like from a girl's point of view, if your husband goes to prison for domestic abuse, are you waiting for him still? You know, like it really depends what it is for. Or if he goes in for like,
Well, let's say it for you then. Like, if your woman goes to jail just for anything,
hmm
are you saying it depends on what she went to jail for
yeah,
that you're willing to wait for her?
like if it's just
Like fraud, you will wait for
no,
her? What if she was, I don't know, stealing or, yeah,
or embezzlement or something.
stealing like identity theft?
Oh, no, I couldn't do that. Because what happened if she stole my identity?
Or she killed someone. When she killed someone, her sentence would be longer, but
Yeah. But if it's like,
or like stabbing, or do you know what I mean? Like
yeah,
just things like that, not like killing someone.
no, I don't think I could wait that long.
So it's just a no, period.
Yeah, if it's like 6 months and then she comes out and do probation, then yeah,
So what's the max years?
probably 6 months.
Then you would move on.
Yeah, but I mean, it's gotta if she gets locked up for something that doesn't involve me, like let's say domestic or like um, mm,
Getting caught, like arsenal. I don't know. That would that be
yeah,
10? Like setting a place on fire or something.
yeah. If it's something that has nothing to do with me, then maybe I could probably wait. But if it's something like me, where like she burned my car down, or she's upset at me, so she burns my car, burns my house, or whatever,
Mhm.
then that's probably gonna be a hard no. I'm not waiting.
Mhm. If it involves you,
Yeah.
then
But if it's something like one couldn't even know, like something that would go that long, like you know, we're out and she's tipsy driving and she gets hit somebody and kills somebody and gets has to do for
well, if she kills someone, that's gonna be long.
but it'd be
If she
like
just injures someone
it'd be like
and crashes into a tree or into a building, but she's still alive, like that. Like you can't kill someone. You kill someone, it'd be longer.
it'd be like unintentional
Mhm.
vehicular homicide, basically.
Hit and
Not a hit and run, but like you're under the influence, so you didn't intentionally kill them, but it was an accident. But still, you're gonna have to do time. You're
mhm,
gonna have to do prison time because you made the decision to drink and drive, and
mhm.
you know,
But 6 months is your max.
yeah. As long as it doesn't, it's a crime that doesn't affect me. But if it's like petty, you know, thing,
Like setting your car on
setting
fire
my car on fire or
or
stabbing me, or
yeah,
like a domestic, and no, I'm not waiting.
breaking and entering. Yeah, I
Yeah,
was trying to like, what is the like coming to your house? Yeah,
stalking, whatever. Then no, I'm not waiting. 'Cause
yeah.
what about you?
Mm, if my spouse was sentenced for 10 plus years, I think I would most definitely wait for as long as I can.
Hmm. But does the crime matter though?
I don't know. I think it would change the way I think about them.
Hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like if it was like theft or fraud, I'm like, oh my gosh, who you been this whole time?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But I would definitely try to wait for as long as I can. Uh depending on the what is it?
The crime.
Crime. I think it would just affect the way how I see them, how
Yeah.
I view them. It won't affect how long I would wait because I would wait for as long as I can. If that's, I don't know, a
So if
year,
it's like
3 years.
domestic, are you waiting?
Um, well, if I already know he's getting 10 plus years and it's domestic,
Like but then with you and him, like
oh,
because
why
he's beating you or something,
I don't think about
Oh,
that.
that's what domestic is.
I know, but I'm saying I don't think of it as it with me because I don't put myself in those positions.
I,
I see it more as it with someone else. If he was fighting with someone else,
oh,
that's how I'm seeing it. I don't put myself in those
I
situations,
don't, I
babe.
don't. We're just saying hypothetically, all right?
Yeah, but my person hypothetically is
I
not
don't,
fighting with me.
I
They're
don't,
fighting with someone else.
I don't fight you. So we're just speaking hypothetically.
Yeah, but that's my hypothetical. Yours is yours. Mine,
Okay.
he doesn't fight with me. I don't fight with him.
Oh,
We don't get physical.
okay.
But if it's for domestic violence, then it's probably like him protecting me or himself. Then again, I would probably wait for as long as I can.
Yeah.
If I already know 10 plus, he is serving 10 years no matter his sentence 10 years no matter what, then obviously yeah, I would wait for as long as I can.
I am jealous of my younger sister's life. I want her life. I'm the older sister. I did everything right. I stayed in school, went to college, earned my degree, and followed the path everyone said would guarantee success. My sister dropped out at 17. I used to call her lazy, irresponsible, and a disappointment. She was collecting cans and working under the table jobs. I told everyone she was throwing her life away. I laughed at her business idea and said she will fail. She didn't. Now her business is thriving. She makes 3 times what I do. She bought a beautiful new house. She drives a nice car. Her husband adores her and would do anything for her. They look at her like she hung the moon. They have a happy little family and a life that looks so secure. And I hate how jealous that makes me. I'm jealous of her success. I'm jealous of her confidence. I'm jealous that she built something from nothing while I'm still paying off student loans. I'm jealous that even without a diploma, she commands more respect than I do with a degree hanging on my wall. People compare us all the time. They say things like, wow, she really made it, or I guess college isn't everything. Every compliment gets feels like a reminder of my failure. Even though I was the one who did not want anyone saying, even though I was the one who did what everyone said was right. When I walked into her house, I look around and feel small. I make comments like, must be nice, or let's see how long this lasts. I criticize her decor, I downplay her business. I take jabs at her choices. The truth is ugly. I hate her sometimes. I hate her so much that I've caught myself wishing she didn't exist.
Hmm.
Oh, because if she didn't, no one could compare my life to hers. No one could measure my right choices against her success. But deep down, what I really hate is that she proved me wrong. She took the risk, she struggled, she built her life from scratch. And I'm standing here with a degree, debt, and a bitterness I don't know how to let go of.
Hmm.
What are your thoughts?
I've actually read this one a
Oh,
while
you have.
ago. Hmm. So I've heard of this one.
Mm.
Um, she sounds very sad and dark, like just her thoughts. Sounds very dark. Like every little thing seems like there's a dark cloud over her. And
Well, the thing is, well, for me, first thought is, why are you so jealous of her? Why aren't you so happy for her?
Mhm,
You know, that's your younger sister. I mean, I get it. There's probably a little, friendly or sisterly competition there. But instead of like, once it's, said and done, like, why couldn't you just be happy for your sister?
mhm,
Because she's probably happy for you that you actually went to school, got a degree, graduated, like, I mean, life still goes on. Your life is tough because you have student loans and everything, but, you're slowly paying it off. It's not
mhm,
like you're going to be indebted for the rest of your life with the student loans, anyways, right?
mhm,
So, I mean, like, yeah, once everything's, put aside, couldn't you just be happy for your sister that she's actually successful now too,
mhm.
and not coming to you and asking you for money and
Yeah.
support and like.
Well, I think she said it herself too. Like the truth is ugly. It's ugly, but it's also very like powerful. She came up from nothing. Like you said, you were making fun of her when she was collecting cans for money.
Mhm,
And now she's made something out of nothing. Like you still can't even be happy for her. You take little jabs at her.
mhm.
Like how negative can you be?
Do you think she was bitter? She's bitter because she used to look down on her sister so much. Do you think that's what makes her bitter? And then now that she's so
As well.
successful, she's bitter because all the doubt and everything she had in her sister.
Her sisters proved her wrong, and
Yeah. Do you think that's what made her
Mm,
bitter?
I think there's a lot of emotions in here, right? It becomes from like pettiness to like, oh, now she's got something great. Okay, now I'm very
Jealous.
envious, jealous
Mhm.
too, but then like secretly still competing with her, and I'm still jealous, and um but I won't ever like be proud of her or say that I'm happy for her. And it's sad because is that like your only sister and you can't even tell her that you're proud of her, or that, or just simply be happy for
Well,
her.
that's the thing, though. That's your younger sister. She probably looked up to you her whole life, right? And for you to like tear down her success and her accomplishments just because you're envious and bitter, like
Hmm.
that's not fair for your sister either, you know?
No, I mean, I feel like they both are very successful,
Yeah,
right? She's got, I don't know, her degree, and I'm sure she's not like the happiest, but I'm sure you're content. Now, the sister, she's very successful, but
even though she's a dropout and
dropout and was, collecting cans for money.
mhm.
Like, she still made something out of nothing.
Yeah, I mean that's why I said like y- all siblings have like a little sibling rivalry, you know.
Hmm.
I mean, I don't know if that's her only sister or if she has other
Her
sisters,
siblings.
but siblings, there's no siblings that say they never had a sibling rival, could say that they never had a sibling rivalry, you know. It's either sibling rivalry or you kind of have like a first like cousin rivalry with each other too, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like when after it's after if even if you have rivalry with somebody, wouldn't it be wouldn't you feel so happy for them once they accomplish something like one of their goals or like just or like are you still gonna be bitter about it,
Hmm. If they're doing great, the least you could do is just like call
yeah, word of encouragement,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I don't know. I think taking those small little jabs, it doesn't help your case either. When you go to her house and, criticize her decor, it only makes you feel better for that very moment. It still doesn't change the fact that, like, you still are very, like, negative Nancy. You're really ugly on the inside about the success your sister has.
I mean, I don't think it makes you feel better at the moment. I think you're just trying to tear down another person's what they built. It's kind of you took the right path. You're still successful. You got your degree. You're still successful. Your sister took the wrong path, but now she's on the right path, and she's catching up to you or like surpass you. Like, why can't you just be happy for her?
Mhm.
You know, like would you rather be more happy if she's knocking at your door or wanting to live with you
Begging
in
for
your
money.
house? Yeah, like would that make you more happy?
Mm,
No, that you'll probably be
so embarrassed and
so embarrassed or so
not
upset at
claim
her.
her
Yeah.
as your sister. Yeah,
So,
take your pick.
yeah, take your pick. I mean,
Would you rather have her still collecting cans and, like, probably one day begging for money? Or would you rather have her be successful and, you know, building a business from nothing?
you're not jealous of your friends or your colleagues or, your coworkers, but how come you're so jealous of your sister? You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like,
Yeah. I think you should find that as a motivation.
hmm
Mhm. You guys can, like, uplift and bring each other up.
and support
Yep.
basically each other.
And hopefully you guys have a better relationship now. Yeah.
I mean, even if you don't, like, at least start mending your relationship with your sister. It's
Mhm.
never too late.
Or I mean, she makes it sound like they don't have any issues, right?
Mhm.
It's just that she's just jealous
And bitter.
and petty, bitter. So I think she needs a lot of healing within herself. I'm assuming that the younger sister hasn't done anything. Like they haven't argued, like they didn't do anything. She's just
Yeah.
jealous that the sister. So I think she needs a lot of healing within herself. And Yeah, I think she will be a better person if she can, you know, find that happiness within herself. And maybe she'll be happy for my sister.
It just goes to say that if you don't have anything good to say, don't say anything at all, right? I mean, you're kind of stirring the pot with your sister there. Because what happened if your sister like just tired of your if you guys never had issue and your sister's tired of all your stupid little
Jabs,
and comments and just, blows up on you, now you're gonna play the victim card or what? Like, to make yourself not look like the bad person here, right? I don't know.
or be those people that are when you argue and they just be saying stuff and everything's just like shoo, or went up there. We can zoom in on that. It says, "What is my body language telling you right now?"
Right now
My body language.
that you're tired.
Really?
Yeah.
That's what my body language is telling you? Oh. Your body language is telling me you're kind of tense. Are you tense or not?
No, I'm not. Well, I think it's because the pillow from the hotel. I think I don't know. Because that pillow's a lot stiffer.
What's high?
Huh?
It's high.
Yeah.
But it's comfy and
it's stiffer. So it's kind of like where I'm used to sleeping on like a softer, lower pillow.
well, I feel like that's soft to me.
Oh,
But it's like soft, but it's like
it's firm.
chunky,
It's firm.
to me.
Yeah. All right. As a child, what do you think I wanted to be?
When you were younger,
Mm-hmm.
the president.
Yeah, well, I've told you already.
Yeah. How about me, babe? There's one.
A dancer.
Mhm.
Not a stripper, but a choreograph dancer, right?
Choreographer.
Choreographer, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, CJ, we got a special guest to answer the last question. What is your what was the question? What was the question?
What is your fear or something
What is the most thing you fear?
you're scared of?
Scared of? Me? What?
I don't know.
Like falling
Or are you scared of monster? Yeah.
or drowning or
say it on the mic.
Bigfoot?
Say it on the mic. What are you most scared of?
Monsters?
What kind of monster?
I don't know.
Bigfoot?
Like clowns or old ladies?
Just ghosts? Okay. All right. Thanks for watching. Till the next episode.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Let's take a selfie, babe.